Mia had been looking forward to this night for weeks. She and Jake had been talking for nearly a month, and their connection felt genuine. Playful banter, late-night conversations, and enough chemistry to make her hopeful. She chose her favorite black dress, styled her hair with care, and even arrived early at the cozy Italian restaurant where they had agreed to meet. But from the start, something felt off. Jake arrived late, looking distracted and restless. He barely met her eyes as he ordered a drink, and his answers to her questions were short, clipped. Instead of the charming man she'd laughed with over text, Mia felt like she was sitting across from a stranger who didn't want to be there. She tried to revive the evening, cracking jokes, asking about his week, but Jake just checked his phone repeatedly, sighing between glances. After only 40 minutes, he leaned back, running a hand through his hair. "You know what?" he said flatly. "I don't think this is working. I should probably go." Mia blinked, stunned. "Go? The date just started." Jake shrugged. "Sorry, I don't want to waste either of our time." With that, he stood, tossed a few bills on the table for his drink, and left her sitting alone, heartbroken, humiliated, and confused. Mia sat frozen for several minutes, trying to process what had just happened. She replayed every detail of the past month in her mind. His compliments, his eagerness to meet, the way he made her feel like she mattered. And now, he had walked out without hesitation, like she was nothing. She paid her bill quietly and left, her heels clicking against the pavement as she headed home. Tears burned her eyes, but she forced herself not to cry in public. Back at her apartment, she poured herself a glass of wine, curled up on the couch, and told herself it was just another bad date. Another man who wasn't who he seemed to be. Her phone buzzed. A message from her best friend, Laura. "Hey, what are you up to tonight? Might have some news for you." Mia almost replied, but she didn't have the energy. Instead, she turned off her phone and tried to sleep, determined to forget the humiliation. But the next day, fate delivered a truth crueler than she could have imagined. The following afternoon, Mia tried to shake off the sting of the night before. She met another friend for coffee, determined not to let Jake's cold dismissal eat at her. They chatted by the cafe window, and for a while Mia actually laughed, grateful for the distraction. Then she saw them. Across the street, arm in arm, was Jake. He wasn't alone. Walking beside him, smiling, was Laura, her best friend. Mia froze, her cup halfway to her lips, her stomach twisted violently as she watched them stroll casually, as if they'd been together all along. Jake leaned close to say something, making Laura giggle in a way Mia knew all too well. Her friend across the table followed her gaze and whispered, "Isn't that Laura?" Mia's chest tightened, her pulse racing. Less than 24 hours ago, Jake had walked out on their date claiming it wasn't working. And now here he was, acting like everything worked perfectly with the one person Mia trusted the most. Mia's thoughts spiraled. She remembered Laura's message from the night before. The mysterious "might have some news for you." Had that been about Jake? Had her best friend known all along? Her hands trembled as she set her coffee down. The betrayal wasn't just Jake's rejection. It was Laura's silence, the secret smile, the timing that suddenly made sense. That night, Mia sat on her bed, staring at her phone. She wanted to call Laura, to demand answers, to scream. But the weight in her chest was heavier than anger. It was grief. Grief for the man she thought she was getting to know, and grief for the friendship she thought she could trust. Finally, she typed a single message, "I saw you today." 3 dots appeared, then vanished, then appeared again. After what felt like forever, Laura replied, "I didn't plan for this to happen, but maybe it was meant to." Mia dropped her phone, her whole body trembling. The person she thought she could always count on had chosen him. Mia sat in silence, staring at the glowing screen. Laura's words felt like daggers. Maybe it was meant to. How could her best friend dismiss years of friendship with such coldness? How could Jake, who couldn't even stay an hour at dinner with her, suddenly find the energy to laugh and stroll with Laura? Her chest ached, but beneath the pain, something else stirred. Clarity. Jake hadn't just ended a date, he had revealed who he truly was. And Laura's choice wasn't an accident. It was a decision. Mia realized that sometimes betrayal doesn't come from strangers. It comes from the people you trust most. That night, she sat at her desk and wrote. Not a message, not a plea, just a letter to herself. She wrote every hurt, every disappointment, every way she had been undervalued. And then at the bottom she wrote a promise. I will never again settle for people who don't see my worth. For the first time since the dinner, Mia felt her tears dry. Days later, Jake texted again. We should talk. Things with Laura. Complicated. Mia laughed bitterly. The same man who had walked out on her, the same man who betrayed her with her best friend, now wanted another chance. She didn't even reply. She deleted the message along with his number. And Laura? She reached out once, trying to justify her actions, but Mia never responded. Because some betrayals don't deserve explanations. They deserve distance. Mia realized the truth. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. Jake showed her he was selfish. Laura showed her she was disloyal. And now Mia was showing herself something stronger, self-respect. She still kept the little black dress she wore that night. Not as a reminder of heartbreak, but as a symbol of her strength, the night she walked away from both a false lover and a false friend. What would you have done if you were Mia? Would you have confronted Laura and Jake or walked away in silence? Tell me in the comments. And if this story shook you, subscribe to Dating Horror Stories, where the worst nights become the strongest lessons.